Fryndarr here, and this is the Nuanda Archives. And from the archives, I bring you today's episode, Myranij, a story arc also found in my upcoming book, Trials of Mirntakk. This episode has immediate ties to characters first introduced in Season 1, Episode 7, and Season 2, Episode 1. Now that's out of the way, let's get to today's story. On the 17th blood dusk of year 436 were two brothers from Rengala who lived near the town of Myranij, a town 44 miles northwest from the mountains of Shakai, that can only be found when an inhabitant allows you to pass the barrier. But these brothers were an adventurous bunch that searched high and low of Rengala in random expeditions for treasure whenever they can manage to do so, until one day the younger brother, Skeng, gets captured by the Mirntakk because of a fake offer for eternal riches. Do keep in mind, the Mirntakk are excellent shapeshifters, who not only can imitate looks, but they can also modify their voice. And once they have you in their grasp, they'll imprison you in the jarine gems around their necks. The only ones that can see these beings' true form and stop them are wielders of the sands or ones lucky enough to rip off their necklaces, potential guardians of the amber sands. The older brother, Tsun, desperate in finding a way to save his brother, hears of a request to find a missing wine glass from a seemingly senile old man rambling outside of Myranij, and gets a hunch to listen to the old man and find his wine glass. Tsun asks him, "Where was the last you saw it?" And the old man said, "Right on a crate over there," pointing to the right of him. Tsun, reading the insignia etched very small on the crate to the old man's blind side, reads of a Mirntakk challenging someone to combat a week from that very incident. Do keep in mind, apparently the incident happened 5 days beforehand. Chun asks the old man, "May I camp here with you for 2 days? Me and the Mirntakk have unfinished business." The old man replies, "Only if you figure out what this vial is for." Chun, in shock, he says to himself, "Never thought I would see the legend in reality. Wonder how to channel it." Chun touches the vial and hears a whisper. The leaves scatter, with new stories to be told. A new world is in need. Knowing exactly what has happened, the sands have chosen him. The old man speaks clearer than ever, said, "You are the one that can enter Myranij. Speak with Goja, and she'll know how to help you in beating the Mirntakk and saving your brother, O guardian of the Amber Sands." Chun, amazed of this plan by this old man, gives him a handshake, and the old man tells him, "There was never a wine glass." Chun, now confused, asked him the reason he assisted him. He said, "Technically, part of this wasn't a test. We were supposed to meet for quite some time, but the sands told me you were on your way to save your brother and fight a Mirntakk. So I figured, as a guardian from very long ago who also gained his power while avenging my brother, wanted to help you." Chun bows in respect to Ernska, a legend he's very familiar with since childhood. Asked him, "Do you want to smoke some Trenton salt by the Loranella River after I rescue my brother?" Ernska nods his head and says, "You best believe it." The time has come for the Mirntakk to arrive, and the only thing Chun asks is, "Why didn't you fight this Mirntakk?" Ernska replies, "This campsite actually isn't my home. I am the founder of Myranij after my adventures ages ago, where I saved my brother, and where I help find future guardians as well. as gathering the most brilliant of minds to preserve peace and serenity in Rangala and Nuanda Swamp. Chun replies, "Do you know how to defeat the Mirntakk?" Ernska replies before disappearing, "Remember the chant from Goja." Chun sees the Mirntakk in his sights, and he readies his spear, and his mind tells him to chant. Rain turns into sun. My foes will fall as they approach. Let's spill some blood and rebuild. In the name of the sands, grant me strength to protect the ones held dear. The foul creature laughs and yells, "Do you want to end up like your brother?" Chun impales the Mirntakk through his eye, pulls it out, and eats it like meat on a skewer. The Mirntakk howls, then follows up with a vicious swipe across the face of Chun, and goes to say, "Even though Skeng is alive, he may not be for long. Unfortunate for you, you will not leave here alive." Chun laughs and charges towards this creature. Unknowingly to the Mirntakk, the sands have been channeled into Chun's spear, and Chun leaps high up in the air and impales him through the neck. And as this creature is dying, Chun yells at this beast, "Where is my brother?" The Mirntakk replies, "I, Brinton Mirntakk, will never tell the direct answer, even in death. But I will say this: travel to Tricknon, look for a Lickney key, and win the Tricknon fight pit, and you will be rewarded with your brother's safe return. And if you lose, your bones will be donated to the reheist. 4 days remain before Skeng dies, so I'd act fast." Chun, in a rage, lands the finishing blow to Brinton and proceeds to Tricknon. Section 2. Tricknon Fight Pit. After 14 vicious battles, he takes a quick breather as the final opponent appears. Piotr Mirntakk, Brinton's father, arrives with a vicious roar as Chun recites his guardian chant once more, and then charges into battle. Weapons clash, shouts are heard. Hours pass. Then finally, Chun, battered, bruised, and bleeding, runs and jumps higher than he has ever jumped before. And like his son, Piotr is impaled through his neck, and then Chun lands the finishing blow right through his heart. Section 3. Freedom. Chun and Skeng departs Tricknon, running fast until they reach the southwestern end of Lorinella River. Then they see the glow of a Myranij, with a shout from Ernska saying to hop on. They ride away until they reach Myranij, and then Ernska says to Chun, "Our promise to smoke Trenton salts by Lorinella will happen, fellow guardian. But first things first, you and Skeng have a new home in Myranij, and let's tour your new house." Chun and Skeng, stoked to have a home in this legendary Rengalan town, asks Ernska, "What has motivated this decision?" Ernska replies, "Myranij welcomes the most brilliant of minds, the bravest of travelers, and most importantly, the ones chosen by the sands." Chun looks at Skeng and says, "Take this necklace. When I learned the chant to defeat the Mirntakk, Goja told me to give you this necklace and tell you to recite this chant. Rain turns into sun, sorrows of yesterday that will wash away. I will claim the skies and rebuild." The brothers, stoked to absorb such sacred knowledge, passed down since the beginning of Rangala, Nuanda Swamp, and Tricknon. But first they ask if they need anything from us. Ernska replies, "The sands will guide you, young guardians, but for now, let us travel to Lorinella River and smoke some Trenton salts." Skeng, confused, asks, What do you mean by guardians? I thought only Chun was one. Chun replies, remember when we rescued you from the fight pit? Well, that necklace that we've given you is imbued with the sands in the metal. I figured to manipulate your hourglass into a necklace, since I know you're clumsy. Skeng, thankful, then tells Chun, I have never smoked Trenton salt. What should I expect? Chun replies, you'll enjoy, my brother. Now let us follow Aranska. We are nearing our destination. Section 4. Live and you serve. Decline and you'll avoid your bones. Finally at Lorinella River, they look in horror. Many corpses without their bones thrown in the river, and one woman crying by a bush in the corner, battered, bruised, and looking like they have witnessed something horrible. Ernska, Skeng, and Chun know exactly what this is. It's a reheist attack. And this reheist, unlike the others of its kind, it has ascended to a Zost Granta by finding the means to channel the crystalline venom and corrupt Lorinella River. Chun, Ernska, and Skeng inquired as much information from this woman and then asked her name. The woman replied, very nervously, my name is Moina, daughter of Entrin. All three, in shock, say collectively, the one tied to the Makondan? She said, yes. What does that mean compared to this? They explain, this Zost will return, and when they do, they will come after you, especially because of you being Entrin's daughter. Her hourglass is in the Interley Museum. Come with us to channel the power. Still terrified, Moina comes with them and asks, where is this town of Myranij? The three collectively say, once we reach the location and we temporarily disable the barrier, then Myranij will appear, madam. Moina replies, why do the Zost want to kill me and not try to kill my mom? Ernska replies, well, the full reason is beyond my comprehension. But what I can tell you is life and existence as you know it isn't quite what is told in the tales found in Rendala and Shriknon, but only a fraction of it. And your mother has discovered much more than anyone in Rendala, Nuanda Swamp, Shriknon, or even Jonton has. And even she has a lot to learn herself, but more than the ones hunting you, and it scares them. Moina replies, so I'm the bait to get to my mother. The three reply, pretty much, and the Sands have informed us that you're meant to be a guardian along with us, and we feel since you're related to Entrin that you'll be our greatest asset in taking down the Zost. Moina replies, if the tales are true, wouldn't there be another guardian for us to find? I know Ernska is meant to be our guide more than anything, even though I know he'll fight. Ernska in return says, you're right. Goja is the fourth guardian of this age of Nuanda. Goja's significance is that the legendary Sklana is her ancestor. The five exit outside of the barrier. They all ready their weapons and recite their chants and wait for the Zost's eventual arrival. And then a few hours pass, and they hear, live and you serve, decline and void your bones. Witness cold. Section 5. The Sand in the Storm. The Zost has arrived finally after its journey from the Triknon portal. A creature so vile that has a body of a serpent, head with goose-like teeth, wings like a dragonfly, and an ominous orange glow from its body and eyes, along with a necklace made of severed Myranij heads, with his vial of crystalline venom right in the middle. Ernska is the first to charge at this beast, but after a few hits from his blessed mace, The beast howls, a deafening howl, to paralyze Aaronska, and then takes advantage of his old age and utilizes his vial of venom and kills Aaronska in the most brutal of ways. Goja taps rhythmically 4 times on her entirely infused sphere and chants her mantra from the sands, temporarily immobilizing the beast, and then yells for Woina, Chun, and Skeng to ready their weapons and chant their mantras in sync and charge for the beast in unison. Woina rips off the left wing of the Zost. Chun takes out an eye with his mighty spear, and Skeng lands the finishing blow by decapitating it with his sword and follows up by destroying its bile with the help of Woina, Goja, and Chun. Section 6. The Return of the Plum-Colored Being, formerly known as Mirntakk. As they mourn Aaronska along with a proper burial in his childhood home at Nuanda Swamp, and they're about to make the journey back to Myranij, then Woina hears a whisper saying, "Woina, it's been a while. Me and your mother have a message. You're destined to take charge of Myranij and guide Rengala and Nuanda Swamp for what's to come after Nuanda. But for now, keep spreading the vision that Aaronska had for us, for the sands, along with everything and everyone." Alright, folks, that is the end of this episode. For reiteration, be sure to check out the second half of the pilot episode for Nuanda Archives, along with episodes 3, 5, 7, and all of Season 2, along with the lyrics from songs found from my band Autumn Silence for story bits so far. Also, be sure to stay tuned with Franklin for Beyond Nuanda very soon. Also, last but not least, I am Fryndarr, and I am wishing you a wonderful day.